南東岸3階番で増進文化お題のために南東岸一家連供養者の礼増進文化お題のために一つ
お乗り換えです。出口は右側に変わります。ご注意ください。Exit Joy. We will be stopping at Exit.
Hey baby, ooh. Whoa. Can I tell you what's on my mind? 'Cause I've been thinking about it for quite some time. Hey, can you give me a moment to declare my love? Can I tell you what's on my mind? Can I get a chance to let you know you're my heart's desire, and I love you so? Will you stay right here, or will you run away if I tell you what's on my mind? I know we're more than friends, but less than lovers. This is not the end. There's much more to discover. Promise to stay. Will you promise to never leave? If I tell you what's on my mind.
I have the ticket. Wow.